Aloha and good morning, Matt Dela Cruz here with the Winning Minds Group, part of the John Maxwell team, and welcome to Mondays with Matt. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a fantastic weekend with the family. Looking forward to another extraordinary week this week as we kick off not only a new week, but we're kicking off a whole new month. That's right, we are now in the ninth month, the month of September. That means, for those of you who aren't keeping track, we've gone through and played 245 games, and that means we have 120 games left to play of the year. What does that mean? Well, if you're not on track, it's time to start thinking about putting yourself on track. If you have no momentum, you want to get momentum, at least get some traction going. But at least be aware that all of us have about 120 days left of the year, and it's important. But here's the great thing about it. You may have screwed up the first 245 days. The next 120 could be better than the last 245. You just got to think a little bit differently and kind of think of the opposite. See the good in things instead of the bad in things, which kind of leads me into today. If you think about people today, how come people aren't doing better than they should, or could they do better? They always say yes. But we do know this, that a lot of people, they don't reach their potential because there's this one word that's called fear. My question to you is, do you have fears? What are you afraid of? What are you fearful of? Are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of heights? What is it that you're afraid of? Are you afraid to make cold calls? Are you afraid to call on new business? What is it? What are we fearful of? Years ago, I remember when Zig said to me, he says, Matt, and I'm sure you've heard it before, he said that fear is as an acronym of FEAR. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So the F is false, right? The E is evidence, and the A is appearing, and the R is real. False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. So fear is something you can't touch. Fear is something you can feel. Fear is something you can't see. What you see creates the fear. So either you're fearful or fearless. But if you think about this, when people say, I'm afraid of the dark, you're not really afraid of the dark. You might be afraid of what's in it. You're not afraid or fearful of making cold calls and calling on new business. You're afraid of getting rejected. You're not afraid of letting something go. You're afraid of being alone. So there's always two sides of everything. In the six intellectual faculties that we have, one of them is called perception. Perception is what we see, our point of view. And when you create this fear, we create, and our point of view is we see the negative. We see the danger. We see that being afraid, right? Danger, that's what we see. That's what we associate fear with. But really, fear is, again, false evidence appearing real. You got to see the positive in it. So it's not being afraid of the dark. Again, as I mentioned, it's being left alone. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of rejection. It's the fear of unknown. But today it's even the fear of success. Some people can't handle success as much as they can failure because they're afraid if they do achieve a level of success, they're afraid they can lose it all, if you think about that. So how do we turn it around and change our perception on how we see things? Again, you got to train, discipline, and condition the mind, which leads me to this quote by Marcus Aurelius. He says, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." That's what I'd be afraid of. I'd be afraid that when I die, I'm going to be afraid that I did not do what I was supposed to do by pouring into and adding value, making a difference in the world, rather than worrying about today or tomorrow. So I want you to think about that today. What are you afraid of? What are you fearful of? Let's go from being fearful to fearless. Think about that this week. So until next week, live with passion, live intentionally, and again, let's be fearless this week. Aloha. Make it a great day.